Hey, good morning and welcome back to the Shit That I Have Learned video series. Yeah, my God. Well, some of you may know that I used to own an airplane and operate my own airplane. Back when I owned my Ford dealership many, many years ago, I used it to fly to vehicle auctions in Edmonton, Vancouver, Winnipeg, like areas around Canada. It was quicker and easier I could go to Vancouver from Vulcan in 2 hours, 40 minutes versus driving an hour and a half to the airport, waiting an hour and a half, 2 hours, get on the plane and, do the math. It just doesn't all add up. Plus I had a goal of being a pilot and owning my own airplane. So those of you probably know that I am a goal setter. So I was flying to Vancouver for an auction. I left Vulcan, arrived in Vancouver early in the morning. It's an hour behind us. So I was able to get to the land and get to the auction, get out of the auction, get back to the airport, and I'm flying back. And I wasn't instrument rated. I was visual flight rule rated. So, I had to see the ground terrain. So on the way back, the weather had changed. On the way out there, it was nice and clear. On the way back, the weather had changed. Clouds were coming in. And as I got over Penticton, on the way home, I could see clearly in front of me the buildup of the clouds over the front range of our Rockies. And so I decided to go through Crow's Nest instead of going straight over, because the mountains, the ceiling height was coming down, and I didn't want to be flying in cloud and possibly hitting the top of a mountain. So I went through the Crow's Nest, Highway 3, and one of the things that happens in the Crow's Nest or in the mountains is there's always winds, and winds are created and winds are following the channels of the valleys and so on. In the Crow's Nest, it's known for high winds, and there's a Venturi effect that happens. You got a mountain here and a mountain here, and when you got wind coming through there and it gets squeezed, let's say in a tight valley, it speeds up, picks up speed. So, and it's going to cause more buffeting and more turbulence. So as I'm coming through and I hit this turbulence and I'm by myself, and it's just a shocker. My head hits the roof of the cabin. And so I had to, think really quick, what the hell is going on here? And I had to go back to, what you learned and what you know, and you throttle back, get into a safe speed situation, and ensure you're flying the plane. And I didn't have it on autopilot at that point in time. If it would have been, it would have kicked out anyways. And, I cinched up my shoulder harness and I got my faculties all back together as I'm flying. And I ended up going in, my heart's going and I'm a little out of sorts. So I ended up flying to Pincher Creek and landing and getting my shit together and then flying, to Vulcan, which was like, 30, 40 minutes or less from there. So what did I learn from this? Well, I learned that you got to keep calm. And you got to ensure that you're doing everything that you've been trained when you're practice drilling and you're rehearsing your flying skills. And that you have to keep flying the airplane no matter what. You got to fly that aircraft. You got to ensure that you're not putting yourself in a more dangerous situation. So those are the things that I learned from that, other than I need to pay more attention to the weather, I guess, at that point in time. Thank you.